Okay, hello, greetings and welcome. All right, so most of the people who train with me are teachers. If you're on the Vimeo channel and you're studying Tai Chi with me, most of that audience are teachers of Tai Chi. Same with the Qigong and the Hermetics. Many of my Hermetics students are teachers of meditation, putting the pieces of the puzzle together and getting to understand the mental, astral and physical components of their teaching syllabuses, getting more ways to express it. So what I want to do is break this down a bit further and get you to investigate your teaching model. What are the mental components of your teaching model? What are the astral components? And what are the physical components? So let's start off with the mental components. Let's say you're a golf coach and you're teaching a person how to swing a club. You put it in their hand and you get them to swing the club. You make corrections. As you make the corrections, you get them to have bodily sensations or feelings of swinging the golf club. Then you sit them down, say, visualize that. And then they go through a process of visualizing it, and you take them through a guided visualization of where their foot should be, where their knee should be, where their hip should be, how they rotate their spine, where their shoulders and elbows should be, the different types of elastic tension throughout the body, how they hold the club, how they look at the ball, how they look at the target, how they extend their mind out into the golf course, and so forth. And then you get them to pick the club up again, manifest those mental changes through the feeling of their astral body through physical action. And then you reticulate, you circulate through mental training, equanimity and consistency, physical action. Mental, astral, physical, mental, astral, physical. And you circulate and you build a perfect swing. You build the perfect technique. You define astrally, how do we get consistency? What are the breathing techniques we have to do to release time to charge these mental ideas with a consistent, balanced result to manifest your goals? So if you have a goal of becoming a world golfing champion, winning the PGA or whatever it might be, you have to start magnetizing the idea as a reflection of your personality. I'm a professional golf player. This is what I do, and I win tournaments. And breathing life force into an idea magnetizes the idea in the subconscious. Slowing the energy down, releasing time as you magnetize the idea, pulls it up to the surface. It gives it immediacy within the frequency and feeling of the idea. It brings it up and goes, yeah, I love playing golf. I'm a master of this particular sport. So the astral self-image, the astral reflection of the technique and mastery of the skills, the astral consistency, the equanimity underlying every time you pick up the club, all these factors that relate to the feeling of how you move forward and develop yourself and move towards your goals are a part of the astral training of that particular sport, that particular message, that particular spiritual system, whatever you're working on. And then, of course, the refinement of the physical. You define all the body mechanics. You define the science of golf. You take the leading edge technology from all the leading edge golfers and all the stuff they've shared. You compile it, you put it together, and then you integrate it in such a way that it moves into your astral training program, it moves into your mental training program to produce champions. And this is important. You put 1/3 of your training into your mind, 1/3 of your training into feeling, and 1/3 of your training into your body. People who do too much body will learn slower. Why? Because their mind isn't perfected. Their feeling isn't centered. It's not balanced. They haven't got their emotional component correct. Train each part individually and then bring them together and produce the result that you want to get. Now, as you develop your teaching system, you have to clarify, this is mental training, put time into it. This is astral training, put time into it. This is physical training, put time into it. When you read a book about something, you're interacting on all these levels, but it's primarily between the mental and the astral feeling. As you learn, you're integrating between a thought and a feeling as you develop an understanding of something. The way you translate data into your experience is a mental astral interaction. So that study component will come under two aspects. The learning aspect is astral, and the integrating is mental, when you visualize and go, yeah, I've got this, I understand this, and you start inputting it in, and then you bring it into the astral and into the physical action to further refine what you are doing. So this method of developing a system, whether it's a highly spiritualized system or it's an athletic sports system, the initiation to Hermetics model of training the mental body, training the astral body, and training the physical body equally, it's always valid, no matter what the skill set is, because there's always a physical expression. If you are a physicist and you're working with physical properties, you want to move from theory down into practice. Those two have to meet at some point where you're dealing with physical reality and testing your theories. So you have this mental field of bringing the ideas together, the feeling and integration of how they relate to the physical function, and then the physical action of doing. Take 1/3 of your time on each of these levels, and you'll find you'll get to your result and find the solution much, much more quickly than if you change the balance of time, more physical experimentation, not enough mental study and understanding in the mental field, and so forth. So bridging things across is very important, and you find your own way to bridge between the mental, the astral, and the physical, depending on the subject that you're working with. All right, so in the development of your teaching system, in your own unique way, overlay the initiation text on top of your particular sport, mentally, astrally, and physically. Divide the training times equally. And if there's a gap where it's go, okay, well, I've got lots of mental here and I've got lots of physical, but the astral is missing, contemplate the personality, the nature, the goal setting, the working with the personality to remove resistance between you and your goals. How do you do that? How do you breathe energy, life force into the technique? How do you astrally charge the technique? How do you create a persona of a champion, and so forth, all the way through? Now, when you get to the latter steps of initiation, there's going to be this, what is divine light? What is Akasha? What are these high frequencies of the spirit? And so forth. When you get to that stage, you'll go, okay, well, these are going to be integrated at a latter stage of the training. The beginner doesn't have to be focusing on the 4 pillars of omnipresence and omnipotence and love and understanding or insight on a universal scale. But metaphorically, they're going, yeah, I have to own the golf course. I have this space that I'm in. I have to feel the space and be omnipresent, one with where I am and where I'm going to send that ball when I hit it into the hole over there. So there's a metaphor, an association, an analogy to universal high frequency qualities within each pillar, but you have to correlate them to the sport that you're doing. When these students who are training golf and doing all these visualization exercises and mental transference into objects and developing very high levels of stillness and integrating that stillness into their practice, and they read through the principles of Hermetics on the last half of the book, they will work it out. They'll go, oh, okay, yeah, I can breathe Akasha, I can breathe this timeless, spaceless, feeling quality underlying things into my practice. So you can guide them through it if you've had the appropriate training, or you can let them figure it out. And it's there for potential transformation and change in the future. So you look at your level of understanding, your level of skill, and then you keep broadening your horizons and understanding through your practice, and you make what you're doing better for the next generation so they can make it better for the next generation. And the initiation process can be overlaid onto any technology, any sport, any spiritual system, anything that has a sense of evolution and growth inside of it, where you're learning and growing and changing. It can be overlaid as a template onto that particular science, onto that particular sport, and used to increase your speed of development. Okay, if you have any questions about this, drop me a line. I answer questions via the 3 Vimeo channels. You're welcome to have a look at them, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for your time.